Hello and welcome back to your violence prevention modules. This module is Keeping It Classy. Again, my name is Ann Goodman. I am the coordinator of violence prevention here on EKU's campus. And our learning outcomes for this module will be able to define what classy is. Stay with me. I know you're like, what? Just stay with me. You'll understand. We'll also practice intervening when we witness unhealthy behaviors, sexual assault, or sexual violence. So, first, we have a few definitions for this part. Our first definition is bystander, and a bystander is anyone in the community who sees or hears about a behavior that could lead to something high risk or harmful. Every bystander faces the same choice, which is pretty cool when you think about it. They get to decide if they're going to get involved and they're going to try to make things better, or if they're going to ignore the situation completely. A passive bystander is someone who chooses to do nothing, but an active bystander are the individuals who do something, and in doing something, they decrease the likelihood that something bad is going to occur, or if something bad's already happening, then they decrease the likelihood that it's going to get worse. So what I am challenging you all to is that after today, you'll commit to being an active bystander. All right, so we have a video for you. And this is Vlad. Vlad is reading a letter that he wrote to a girl that he met at a party.
Dear acquaintance, we weren't really that tight, but I remember seeing you at that house party junior year. It was a Thursday night, the usual start of the party nights on campus. I was there with a group of friends, but you came up to me. You looked worried, uncomfortable. You told me one of the guys invaded your space, that he grabbed you by the waist, pressed against your body. He cornered you as the music played in the background. You didn't want to dance, didn't want to drink, didn't want his number. I initially hesitated to intervene. Were you sure? Was he just flirting? I grew up in a place where people teach you to mind your business, to think that someone else will intervene. I saw the discomfort in your face. Suddenly I snapped out of it. I jolted into action. He wasn't big, tall, or particularly intimidating, but still he had the power in that situation. I was worried I'd be embarrassed. I found him pressed against another girl at the party. Her girlfriend's unsuccessfully trying to help her dodge him around the dance floor, and he just laughed. I flashed back to every time a man catcalled my mom when I was growing up. It gave me the courage to walk right up to him, told him I needed to talk to him in the living room. I set him down and I confronted him directly. I told him he was crossing the line. I removed him from the situation and held him accountable. I did what needed to be done to prevent sexual assault. That night, you safely left the party with your friends. I owe you action because if it were me, I would want someone to step in. Sincerely, Vlad. It's on us to end sexual assault. Take action at itsonus.org.
Vlad was an active bystander, and he helped someone that he didn't even know be safe. How can you help someone be safe, though? The first thing I want to talk with you all about is your safety. In any situation, being an active bystander, the first step that we need to take is to make sure that we're safe. Your safety is key in deciding when and how to respond to violence. We do not want you to get harmed while you're helping. Every person has to make their own decision about the safest and most meaningful way to intervene when they are in a situation. A lot of times when I'm doing trainings, I'll ask people how they're going to be an active bystander in a situation, and their first response involves something to do with violence. While that may be the default answer for a lot of people, is it the safest way to intervene? Is it going to keep you safe? Is it going to keep you from getting harmed? The other question we have to ask ourselves is, does meeting violence with violence result in any long-term change being affected? Definitely not. So, the first thing we want to do when we are being an active bystander is to check in. If you see a situation happen, check in and make sure the person is okay. You can do this during or after the event takes place. Checking in can look like a lot of things. If you see a situation, checking in can be making sure that the person is okay. Talking to the aggressor after the fact to let them know that their behavior was not okay. Also, checking in can look like offering resources such as the EKU Counseling Center or the EKU Violence Prevention Office. If you are in a situation, checking in looks like talking to a friend after about what is happening, making an appointment to talk to someone in the counseling center or with a different therapist. If you are in a situation, please remember that you are not alone and there are a lot of resources available to you both on and off campus. So our second form of bystander intervention is going to be our L, and this is look for help. If you don't know what to do, look for someone who can help you or the person that's in the situation. If you can't find anyone, call the campus police at 859-622-1111, or you can just dial 911. Looking for help looks like a lot of things. A couple of examples: if you see a situation, you can find someone to help you with the situation, like a friend, a professor, a member of the staff, the violence prevention officer. You could also find someone from Title IX, just someone that can help you in the situation. You could talk to the RA in your building, or you could call the campus police or the Richmond police. One of the things that I tell people with looking for help is that handling something directly and jumping in and handling it yourself is one of the hardest forms of bystander intervention. So don't feel like you're doing less if you're allowing someone else to handle the situation. You are still being an active bystander because you're letting someone know what is going on. So if you are in a situation, decide who is leaving together in advance, or you're establishing a code word or a phrase that you can say or text to someone that you trust, and you can share your location with them, because if they get a text from you that says roll Kearns and that's your code word or phrase, then it's very helpful for them to know your location as well. You could also agree to have someone in the group check in with everyone every 30 minutes. You're just enlisting someone else to help you. Our next form of bystander intervention is our A, and that's ask. Ask the person what they need. If you take a video of a situation, don't put it online. Ask the person what they want you to do with it. Some examples of asking first: ask the person to go to a mandated reporter and document the incident. Most of our staff and faculty at EKU are mandated reporters. They know how to report a situation that's taken place so that we can make sure that the person involved is getting the help that they need, is having the resources that they need provided to them, and is in control of the situation and what they want to do about it. With asking first, only approach the situation if it is safe to do so. Keep a safe distance and don't put yourself in danger, because if we look back to the first rule of bystander intervention, your safety is key. If you're taking a video, document your surroundings, show different landmarks, make sure you clearly state the date and the time in your video. The person may need the video as evidence for the court or for the police, but also ask before you do anything with the video what the person who has been harmed would like you to do with this video. This is very important because a lot of times if someone is in a situation that needs to be documented via video, it could be one of the worst moments of their life, and sharing it online re-traumatizes them over and over and over again, and that's not something that we want to do. If you're in a situation, make sure that it is safe for you to document the situation. Don't take your phone out and start recording if it's going to put you in danger. If you do record, you can make sure that the camera is hidden, is not in plain sight, so that you are safe. Put any videos that you take in a hidden folder or send it to someone that you trust to safeguard it for you. And ask for resources that will allow you to safely exit the relationship. Our next form of bystander intervention is our S, and our S stands for sidetrack. Sidetracking is causing a distraction. This will sidetrack what is happening, and it will help to break the immediate tension. It can help someone have time that they need to get to safety or to call for help. With sidetracking, if you see a situation, you can text one of the people involved in the situation or call their phone. This will cause a distraction. They'll look at their phone. It gives a little beat. It de-escalates the situation a bit. You can also say, "Hey, I think your car is being towed." You could knock on the door if it's your neighbor, and you could say, "Hey, could I have some laundry detergent? Could I have a bottle of water? Do you have a pen? Can I borrow some toilet paper?" It does not matter if you actually need that thing. All we're trying to do is to sidetrack the situation and give the person time and to de-escalate the immediate situation. So if you're in a situation and you want to sidetrack it, you can say, "Hey, let me call my roommate real quick to let them know to leave the door unlocked. Hey, I need to use the restroom." Or, "Hey, I'm not feeling great. Could you get me a glass of water?" And it's very important to remember that distractions and sidetracking the situation allow you the time you need to call for help. So next, we have our I, and our I stands for intervene. Intervening is stepping in and intervening in the situation. Make it known that the unhealthy behavior is not okay. What this can look like, if you see a situation, you can ask the person being impacted if they need help. You could also let the person know that they could come and stay in your room if they feel safe, or you could offer to drive them to their home or to walk them to their next class. You could also talk to the person about campus resources after the fact and let them know that there are resources available to them and point them in the right direction to those resources. If you're in a situation, intervening is handling it by saying things like, "I said no," "What you're doing is not okay," or "I want to get out of here," or "I'm ready to leave now." So, what can you do? Putting your knowledge into action and keeping it classy. Now that you know what you're looking for, we're going to do a couple of scenarios to see how you can help someone in a situation so that they don't end up another avoidable death like Yardley's. In our first scenario, you notice a couple in the Alumni Coliseum parking lot. They're arguing loudly. One of them grabs the other by the arm aggressively, and you're getting concerned about the rapid escalation. So if you'd like, you can pause here and think about some ways that you can be an active bystander in this situation. Some of the things that we can do are intervene in the situation. Ask the person being harmed if they need help, or offer them resources. You could also sidetrack this by causing a distraction. One of the ways that we can cause a distraction is we're in a parking lot. If you have your car, you could set off your car alarm to cause a distraction. You could also go up and ask them for directions. But if you're concerned about the rapid escalation and you don't feel safe, then you can look for help and you can delegate this to someone else, like the campus police. You could also look for help and look around to see if there's anyone else in the parking lot that can help. But wait, what if the person that is screaming and grabbing the other person by the arm is your boss? What do you do now? We use this scenario to highlight how power dynamics can change how or if some people respond to a situation. Hopefully, going over the ways that we can stay classy, you can find a way to intervene in this situation and be an active bystander while still maintaining composure and not feeling like you're going to have any form of retaliation from the other person if there is a power dynamic that is happening. One of the ways that you can do this is by allowing someone else to handle the situation for you. For our second scenario, you notice that your classmate's ex keeps waiting for them after class. It's happened multiple times, and your classmate seems increasingly upset by this. What are some ways that you could be an active bystander? Well, go ahead, I'll give you time to pause this and think about how you would be an active bystander. So some examples of ways that we can step in this situation, we could talk to the ex so that your classmate can slip out and leave. You could call the police. You could tell your professor. Also, it should be noted that you should recommend that your classmate reports this to the police. This is stalking. It has happened multiple times, and your classmate needs to know that they can report this so that they stay safe. But wait, what if your classmate's ex has a known history of violence? What do you do now? If you said to let someone else handle the situation because safety is key, then you're right. In this instance, if we know that someone has a known history of violence, we don't want to approach them, we don't want to put ourselves in the middle of the situation because we don't want to become harmed. So calling the police or letting your professor handle the situation is what is best in this scenario. So I want you all to remember that by staying classy, you can help keep our campus safe. You can also scan this QR code to get a list of resources if you or someone you know has been assaulted or needs a safe place to go or a safe person to talk to. These can also be found on the EKU Violence Prevention website, along with many other resources. And you can always go to the Violence Prevention Office in Jones 409 if you need any of these resources or you've experienced any form of relationship violence or abuse. My information is here on the screen. You can always call the office or send me an email. You can find the resources as well as other resources at go.eku.edu/violence prevention. My office is always a safe space. If you need anything, please do not hesitate to reach out.